Ever wonder what the world will look like in another decade or so? What kind of progress we'll be able to make in terms of tech and traveling? Well, we won't just reach the stars, we'll be vacationing near them. Tune into this video because we'll be discussing what the future of travel is going to be like by the year 2037. Firstly, let's look at all the travel options available for 2037. There's going to be a boom in traveling options for 2037, and the destinations listed might get you by surprise. First up at number 5 is Australia, the land of kangaroos, huge spiders, and not to forget the House of Opera itself will be a tourism hotspot for the next decade, it seems. Travel that's eco-friendly and sustainable for the planet is the #1 concern for travelers nowadays, which is why Australia is going to be a popular tourist destination for sure. According to the representative of IHG Hotels and Resorts in Japan, Australasia, and the Pacific, Leanne Harwood, Australia's got luxury resorts, regional towns, multi-gen stays, solo travel, and more, which makes it a perfect option for all tourists even in 2037. Coming up at number 4 is Antarctica. This option, as fun as it seems, will be tricky to explore, mainly because an influx in tourists will put a huge amount of strain on the continent. Antarctica is already a bucket list destination, and the number of visitors has been gradually increasing over the last 30 years. By the year 2037, several more flights will be offered to Antarctica, with the possibility of direct flights from Australia to Antarctica happening soon. This issue is that, while a lot of work's being done already for tourism, there's no government authority that's overseeing this new industry. There is the International Association of Antarctica Tour Operators that have been doing a decent job so far, but huge numbers of tourists will definitely make their job difficult. Speaking of work being done, expedition vessels are being offered with flights from Punta Arenas to King George Island, 120 kilometers from the Antarctic Peninsula, by Silver Sea Cruises. Next at number 3 is Venice. Venice is no stranger to tourists. It's one of the most favored tourist destinations, one that's frequently visited by tourists who are short on cash, to the point that the city itself is struggling to keep up with the inflation of tourists that visit the country. The Venetian authorities solved this issue by introducing a daily tax for tourists. The G Adventures chief executive, Bruce Poon-Tip, stated that the measure should be considered as only the beginning, but the downside of this tax is that tourist-heavy cities like Dubrovnik and Amsterdam will now be defined by the world more as managed amusement parks and less as tourist destinations. He added that you'll buy tickets for Venice and then one for Kyoto, because cultural heritage preservation will be a burning topic for travel in the next decade. For number 2, we've got Japan. So Japan hasn't always been a popular tourist destination. A 2009 report suggests that there were less than 4.5 million overseas visits. But a whole decade later, the numbers have bumped up to 32 million visits. How insane is that? Japan's been a popular tourist destination before COVID, and it looks like its title will remain the same for the years to come. Japan's got so much to offer. Its rich history, art, culture, distinct cuisine, ski resorts, and gorgeous once-in-a-lifetime wonders, like the cherry blossom season, will make sure it stays a favorite tourist option in the coming years. At number 1 is space. Honestly, the sky's the limit, which is why it makes sense that the best tourist-ready option is the wide expanse of space. Space exploration is a topic that we're well familiar with because of all the shows and TV series centered around discovering new planets and species in a futuristic timeline. Right now, the idea is still confined to our screens, but by the year 2037, several advancements will be made regarding space exploration. Who knows? You might just get to book a ticket to a flight chartered for the Milky Way. In fact, Virgin Galactic's already selling tickets at $450,000 US for 2023, while Space Perspective will send passengers to space in 2024 on balloon flights that are 6 hours long, and some reports suggest flights to the moon will be next to take course by 2040. But don't get too excited and start counting the cash in your savings account just yet. Space traveling and tourism won't be available for a long time, and when they are, they'll not only be extremely expensive, but also an option that should be used as a last resort, not for vacay purposes. According to the chief executive of Intrepid Travel, James Thornton, the trips will be the opposite of a one-off bucket list blast-off. Their priority for the next 15 years is making travel much more sustainable in order to protect the Earth's population and destinations for the future. And get this, he doesn't even see any appeal in space explorations. He'd rather keep his travels Earth-specific. Finally, here's what to expect of traveling in 2037. Let's be real, Earth won't be in the best of conditions if we're to fast forward 15 years. Thanks to climate change, things have been a mess. Areas that are normally considered an oasis have dried up. Countries that were thought to be tundras of ice and snow have started melting, and deserts are really cold now. Saudi Arabia experienced snow, for crying out loud. It never snows there. That place is a desert. This makes it quite clear that climate change is real, guys, and that, most importantly, planet Earth as we know it will be a different planet altogether. In fact, the state of the Earth in the next decade will play a huge role in the traveling industry. Climate change and global global warming will cause the term geographically and environmentally safe to be used for sure. Sure, the world will hypothetically be a mess, but that doesn't mean we won't be trying our level best to come up with solutions to tackle the stack of issues, the pile that just keeps growing from the look of things, FYI, but that's a topic for another time. Some people are taking better care of their health post the COVID pandemic, opting for vehicles that run on electricity, embracing VR or virtual reality, advancing in modern tech, taking longer vacation days, and lastly, reconnecting with Mother Nature. Yes, she still exists. Now, how to cruise in futuristic style. Of course, while we're on the topic of the future of travel, we have to talk about our transport as well. Expect cruise ships to be eco-friendlier, smaller in size than local destination ports, and to ultimately target a much younger audience. One example of modern cruise lines tailored to a younger audience is Virgin Voyages, an adults-only ship that offers formal Scarlet Night parties, tattoo parlors, and DJ nights. While in terms of the design of the cruises, cabins will tend to resemble boutique hotel rooms with the added bonus of ship-within-a-ship zones that'll be offering exclusive benefits. Cruise spas will also extend their list of services to include infrared rooms, charcoal saunas, and zero-gravity massages. Future cabins will also be much more interactive. In fact, the Royal Caribbean's already started creating video walls that are tasked with showcasing personalized art. That sounds like a treat for art lovers. Up next, what's the hotel industry going to look like in 15 years? Now, we can't talk about the future of travel without talking about the hotel industry, now can we? The hotel industry already knows everything there is to know about you, thanks to technology. Look, from the moment you book a hotel room to the point that you've got to check out and call for your luggage to be swiftly whisked to your car, tech's involved every step of the way. And in the future, tech will surely continue to play an integral role during your hotel stay. Traveling will be a much more comfortable experience for hotel guests now because the developing tech will streamline info for basic tasks and even fix staff shortage problems. With the logistics of a hotel stay becoming virtual, the hotel industry will be able to shift its focus and goals to revolve around the client. Also, Sarah Derry, the chief executive of Accor Pacific Hotels, said that we can expect hotels to continue providing people with wonderful experiences, accommodations, great food, etc., while remaining eco-friendly. Last up, 3 ways of reducing your carbon footprint. Of course, if you want to travel the world, you have to do it with the smallest of carbon footprints for the sake of the planet. The 3 main ways of traveling sustainably and making sure you're not leaving a carbon footprint are actually pretty easy. As soon as you lighten your load, ditch traveling by car or Uber, and holiday in the off-season, you'll be saving the planet one trip at a time. How easy is that? It's important to remember that as fun as it is to travel, maybe don't pack your entire wardrobe for a 3-day trip. It's okay. We're guilty of this too. Plus, cycling to places is not only better for the environment, but you'll get to live out your whimsical tourist dream of seeming just like a local. Lastly, traveling in the off-season is much more budget-friendly. And that's all for this video. What tourist destination would you like to visit in 2037? Let us know in the comments below. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and make sure to subscribe to our channel for more videos like this. See you at the next one.